From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Good Monday evening, everyone, and welcome to Open Line. I'm Carrie Sharp. We have a great show for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I have John Navin here with me tonight from John Navin and Associates, here to answer your financial questions. And also, we're going to be talking tonight about finding balance in your life, and not only financially, but in other aspects of your life as well. So stick around. We got a lot to talk about tonight. John, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Happy 2016. This is our first time this year to sit down and chat.
It is. It's like all of a sudden here we are.
I know, and halfway through the month almost, so we're cruising right on through.
It is flying.
And talk about finding balance. The stock market would be nice. It would be nice if it found some balance, because it's been a rough year so far. What's up with that?
China caused it. It has been the worst start, I think they said, like in 20 years or some big number. And today there was a little bit up, so it was nice to see. I think
the Dow finished about 54 points up.
Impressive.
I'm doing my research, John.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. But last week was brutal.
Yeah.
So down.
Okay, but as I was doing my research, I found two different articles. I Googled stock market 2016. One was why Wall Street experts expect a 7 to 11% upside, and then 6 factors that point to global recession in 2016. I mean, you couldn't be at two more different ends of the spectrum. Really, what should you do with your money at this point?
Well, now we have talked about it, and we'll bring it up again, because
you're going to say diversify.
I'm going to go to buckets, because I got to go to buckets to appease my wife. We have to talk about buckets. No, but if you have allocation or buckets or money in different places, that's going to be the big key, is to set it up and make sure that you do have enough money safe, you have enough money geared towards growth, and you can ride out some of these bumps. The market, and I'm happy to talk about that. If folks want to call in and talk about the market, we can talk about that. We can talk about anything you'd like. Dealer's choice, as we mentioned before we started. Dealer's choice today, but in essence, if you put 5 economists in the room, you're going to get 5 different answers. So some of the folks say the market's going to do well, we should get 7 to 11%. Some say it's going to bottom out. We'll probably fall somewhere in the middle. It just depends on how things shake out. My belief is, and I think the majority of the experts out there believe, that it is going to be a bumpy ride, but still should fare out pretty good towards the end of the year. Because all the other stuff, fundamentals, look good. Companies are doing well. Interest rates are low. Still low. We did get a quarter-point bump last year, so they're starting to come back up, which is still a good sign. So we have a healthy economy. Housing starts are still through the roof, robust. So everything really looks pretty good. So what happens with this kind of sensationalism, I call it, it's basically marketing. Fear, greed, but it pushes everybody. China did it. China is the one that, the Chinese economy is going to start to slow. It's been slowing for a while, so that's what the big concern is. But
not a new biggie there, but anytime you mention it, people go, oh, yeah.
And when you see your money go from X to, now you're down 10, 12, 14%, and here we are January 11th.
Yeah, you get a little worried. When you say somebody's 10 years away from retirement, or 25 years, or 5 years, for what's happening right now in the stock market, who should really sit up and pay attention and say, ooh, maybe I do need to make a move right this minute? Is that somebody 5 years away or 10 years away from retirement? 1 year away? 5
to 10. So retirees, people approaching that retirement era, are definitely going to be the ones that want to make changes and pay attention. I wouldn't say make changes today, but I would say you want to look to make sure you have that money allocated properly. Because then you won't have to make changes, and then you can ride it out, and the fear will dissipate. So, I had some folks really going back to 2001. If you go back now, you were, as we talk about, you were a young lady at that time, but in 2001, the market went through stuff like it did in 2008.
Right.
Stuff is such a technical term. It went through the recession.
It was ugly.
It was bad. And in 2001, it was really bad because what happened, folks were coming off of, and I should say 2000, they were coming off the 90s, which were so robust.
Yes.
And so we all got lulled into this.
We can make so much money all the time.
I'm going to leave my money in the market for one more year, and then I'm going to retire, and I'll be fine. Well, then 2000,
Bam.
2001, 2002 hit. And for 3 years in a row, the market was down. So that will kill your portfolio if you're going to retire.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in that era had the 401k go down to the 201k, and they're still working.
Yes.
So if you want to avoid that, now is the time to really be, if you're 5, 10 years out, really start looking at what it is you're going to live on and put that money someplace else. Don't put it in this. I mean, some of it should be tied to the market, but
it should not be keeping you up at night.
no.
Okay.
No.
If you have a question, if you are worried right now, if you're stressed, if you don't know what buckets your money should be in, go ahead and give us a call. 615-737-PLUS is the number. We will be here for the next hour to answer your questions and to talk about a wide gamut of things tonight when it comes to finding financial balance. But that's not it. Finding physical balance, mental balance, spiritual balance, everything that makes your life whole. We're going to find balance. And look at you, Mr. Financial Advisor, wrote a book about this. How did that come about?
That's a good question.
That's what I'm in the business of doing.
You are. You ask very good questions. It actually started 2005. Now, I won't tell you the whole story because we won't have time. But in essence, what happened is I had a lot of folks coming to me in 2005, and they were saying, John, I've got money, but I'm just not happy. And I would say to them, well, money, we need money.
Yeah.
Everyone needs money. Money's not going to make you happy. Lack of money will definitely make you unhappy, but money is not going to make you happy. And at that same time, I started looking at my own life. And I had, from the outside, you would look and go, oh my gosh, this guy's doing phenomenal. And we were. We had good numbers. The business was going great. Everything was on the up and up. But really it was, it was chasing the Joneses. And so I sat back and I was sitting in my driveway one time and I looked around. I'm like, oh, I need to do this and this because I had all this stuff. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm saying I'm doing the same thing everybody else is. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And so it was 2005 that I said, okay, something's got to change. And at that time, I had been coached by different people throughout my career. One of them was, in essence, a life coach. Another guy that I went to was a business coach. And I remember sitting down with him, and he said, and he was my first coach, and he said, I can help you get more clients. I said, fantastic, what do I have to do? He said, it's going to cost you about $9,000 and it's going to take a year. I said, what are you talking about? I'm not going to spend $9 grand and I'm not going to take a year doing it. He said, you have to. And he said, here's the biggest thing, you have to go to work on yourself. And I went, oh no. So I spent the $9,000. I went to class and I learned and I dove into books and I read and read and read and read. So the outcoming was really, if you see our logo, and I don't think we have our logo up, but it was all about creating balance. So it was balance financially, physically, and personally. So personally, helping people discover what they love to do. And so if you can create a plan, and we still live by it, this is our philosophy today. If you can help people create a plan based around what they love and help them discover what it is they love, then it becomes much easier. The next phase is then financial. So you have to have enough money to complete it. What I'll say there, people will ask me, how much do I need to retire?
Right.
And I have clients that can retire on $200,000, and I have some that can't on $2.5 million. So it just depends on what your lifestyle is like. So we have to create a plan and a strategy based upon what you love.
What you love. You always talk about that. What do you want to do in retirement? What are your passions?
Exactly. And then the third thing is physically. So you have to be able to afford it. Pardon me. You have to have the health to complete it, which is becoming more and more important. Now, in 2005, this may be hard to believe as well, but I was probably 260 pounds, and I was, if I back up a little bit, I was a wrestler in college. Then I got out of college, and I ate like a wrestler out of season, and so these wrestlers out of season, yeah. Well, then I hit 40, and I said, I can't do this anymore.
This isn't working.
No. So when I hit 40, I finally said, okay, it's time to change. And so all those things, that all happened around 2005.
And you lost a lot of weight.
Lost a lot of weight, yep.
Started running.
Started running, did triathlons. An interesting story about triathlons. I recall the second triathlon, the World Triathlon in Hawaii. when a young lady crawled across the finish line, and I said that was like in 1982, 83. So when I saw that, and I got goosebumps, and I said, I want to do that someday. So that was called the Ironman, which the Ironman is swim 2.4 miles, bike 112 miles, and then run
a marathon.
Yes.
26.2.
Impressive. Yes. So I did that in 2011.
Woo! That's awesome.
Yeah. Are we on the subject?
No, not at all. Well, yes, we are. Physical balance.
I like it. I just want to make sure. I feel like I'm talking about myself.
No, that's okay.
All right. I don't want to do that.
People got to know you have chops when you're talking about this, because everyone knows you as the financial guy. So why do you feel it is so important to find balance in other areas? Normally you're just focused on money.
Yeah. Because money's not going to do it. And I'll tell you that, anybody, it's not going to be money. You need money. Because if you don't have enough money, all you're going to do is worry about money.
Yeah.
And you just keep thinking, okay, when I make this or when I get here, then I'll be happy. No, that's not going to happen. You got to really look and say, what it is that's going to make you happy. And live your life built around what's going to make you happy. And it doesn't take as much as you think.
Well, I like that. That's a good way to take a first break.
Yeah.
All right, so as you can see, we are talking about everything tonight, and you can join the conversation when it comes to the stock market. What's going on this year? Where should you put your money? How to find that balance in your life? Go ahead and give us a call, 615-737. Plus, we're staying right here. Hope you will too.